Alright. Oh. 20 seconds in. That's about the minute mark to begin. My back itches. Alright, about 45 more seconds and then we'll begin the stream. 15 more seconds before we begin. Alright, a whole bunch. Right? So, this picture is not loading for me for some reason. I had a little bit of a problem today. I've been sitting here at home, just kind of chilling for a while now. Not really doing much of anything, to be completely honest. And then I was listening to a podcast, the official podcast, which is something run by Critical, and a notification popped up, which is pretty typical. I went to the notification, turned out to be a hate comment, a fantastic hate comment. Look, right? Hating on something is okay if you can do it in a very constructive manner. So constructive criticism, to me, this is how constructive criticism was always taught to me, and this is the one thing I'll ever learn from that teacher, because that teacher was horrible. Really? I just got news from Brickbuilt that he met a fan of mine today. I didn't realize that would happen. I figured it's going to happen eventually. I got 1,000 people, so. Yeah, this hate comment was very just nasty and rude. There was no constructive criticism behind it in the first place. It was meant to dismantle someone more than it was meant to bring someone up. And because of that, I reported it, so that's what I did. Reporting it is basically your next best option when it comes to having problems with people, because if it's a continued repeated offense from the same person over and over again, obviously that person can get banned from whatnot. I'm still entirely stuffed up. I don't particularly know why, but it's not getting any better. So kind of bear with me because I'm both breathing and talking from my mouth at the same time. So it's got a feed off of your fan base. So if you can make the problem go away quietly simply by reporting it, getting that person banned off of the platform that you're having the harassment issues on, then well, it's no longer a problem at that point. So sorry that you guys have to listen to that. It's kind of disgusting. That's on my part. So hopefully I don't have to worry about this person coming around again. He doesn't seem like he's come around again because he only checked out one of my videos, went on a rampage on that video about how that particular gun was absolute disgustingness, and didn't realize that I've already remade that gun and it's a lot better. So yeah, why doesn't this have a rendered image on it? Now that I look at this, I gotta fix that. I'm sorry that you guys have to continue listening to me about that. So here we gotta wait on the P99 to render, which should be fairly quick. It's a pretty small model, and then I got it set to the lowest graphics here, so it should render up pretty fast. And then the Walter P99 is what we're updating today. That's the page, so. Well, what else happened today? Some other things happened today. Today's just one of those days. There's things that pile up on top of things that pile up on top of things that just keep piling up on top of things. People not doing what they're supposed to be doing. People complaining about things they've no business complaining about because it's their fault in the first place. Ow, I'm tearing skin off of my foot. Ow. So my boots, when I first started wearing my boots, they were super uncomfortable because they would rub up against the side of my my big toe. I was going to call it my thumb, but you don't wear shoes on your feet, so, or you don't wear shoes on your hands. My bad. So my big toe is just eventually calloused up on the sides that were rubbing, so I don't feel it anymore. It's not that big of a deal. I love my boots in the first place. They're steel-toed, so I don't have to worry about anything. And they're fairly waterproof. You have to really dunk them in water for them to actually get wet. So, yeah. So now I've got dead skin that comes off every once in a while from the calluses. So every once in a while, it just helps to go through and rip it off as much as you can so that new skin can grow in and new calluses can form. That's just kind of how things work, I guess. What else happened today? I came home today with a little under 40 burritos. I took 39 in total, and then a friend of mine, I stopped by his house to drop them some off because he really likes the burritos. Um, and then I came home with about 25-ish, 30 maybe. Those went down the street to a neighbor who takes them to church. And then, let's see, I brought home a whole nother box worth of bananas, a whole bunch of bananas. And that was after already giving out a pretty good, like, large amount of them. I handed out at least like 3, 4 different um, bushels. I think they're called bundles. Maybe bunches is what they're called. I handed out quite a few bunches of them before even bringing them home, and still ended up with quite a few that needed to go down to the church. I brought home 3 things of apple juice. It's just 3 things of apple juice. There's not really a lot, but I kept the apple juice, and that was the only thing that I kept out of it. I got rid of all the burritos and got rid of all the bananas. All of that went into the uh, down the street to the neighbor who goes down to um, the church. So I can breathe just a little bit better now. Which makes me way happier. Not sitting here breathing in y'all's face. I swear some more stuff happened today too. I just can't think about. Um, I don't know. I feel like a lot happened today, and I just came home and then brain dumped all of it, and then just don't care about any of it anymore. I think that's what's happened at this point. Not entirely sure. What is this? The Walter P99 Mark 1. And then I got a Mark 2 version over here. No, we haven't. I've been doing the other things with you. I don't think I've had much to talk about today, because I think the only thing that I really had to talk about was the kids doing kids things, and I don't know, I think I've reached that point in time where I just don't particularly care anymore. They're kids doing kids things. We could talk about, we had problems. Apparently, the kids keep talking about Five Nights at Freddy's. Okay, look, Five Nights at Freddy's is a popular gaming franchise, and of course, here we go. I thought about this really heavily yesterday before I fell asleep. I was in a pretty deep thought about this. We can talk about this. We have given our children like the most severe thing that we have ever given our children in life, right? So what I mean is, the second you give any child YouTube, they will find the most depraved thing that they can ever find on that website to satisfy their curiosity. It is what children do. I don't care if they're looking for boobs. I don't care if they're looking for violence, video games that they want to see, cursing, anything taboo to a child of that age will lead them to go seek it out on any platform that they can, and YouTube is by far the easiest because YouTube is the most trusting of all of them, of all the platforms on the internet. YouTube is the most popular, the most widely available. It's kind of the reason we have a YouTube Kids app. So, because we just allow our kids the free reign of going on YouTube, I should rephrase this. Just because some parents allow their kids free reign of going on YouTube and looking at whatever they feel like, it kind of spreads like a parasite. It starts with one kid. That one kid starts talking about it. Another kid finds out about it, gets curious, looks it up when they get home on their own time, asks their parents about it, things like that. Some parents aren't particularly good parents, don't particularly care about it. They just let their kid do whatever they want. So other parents, no, you can't look up Five Nights at Freddy's. No, I'm not going to buy you Five Nights at Freddy's, so on and so forth. That's a good parent. Depending on your particular school age, you shouldn't be playing particular games. Makes sense. There's ratings for a reason. If it's an M-rated game, say Grand Theft Auto 5, why would you ever allow your 12-year-old son or daughter to play the game? I understand some people like that, other people don't. We need to stop. YouTube and the internet is such a powerful thing that it is spreading ideas and thoughts that may not align with another family's ideas or thoughts, and that causes trouble in the long run for people like us. See though, right? See, your cousins literally only know the fluff of Five Nights at Freddy's, right? Which means they are saved from the nightmare-inducing fuel that is Five Nights at Freddy's. And yeah, right? But our kids, here's what I'm getting at. Our kids, right, have been so infatuated by the Five Nights at Freddy's series that they have talked about it at length and in depth with other children in the program, and those children are coming away with mixed feelings about the series. We have certain boys that would love to play the series and understand that it's a video game and that video games are not real and they should not be afraid. We have certain boys that would never we have boys who would never like to see anything about No, I'm not building anything, yeah, so you don't have to worry about that. I'm just updating the website again. I'm just trying to get all the guns out on the website because I need to be more committed to that as a builder and having a website. So that's what we're doing. Certain boys would never like to see anything like that, and certain boys would just never like to deal with anything like that. And then we have girls that believe Five Nights at Freddy's to be the conjuring of the devil or something like that because that's what their parents tell them, right? So we've given our children the means and the way to explore things that not everyone is ready to explain. You give a child a tablet, you give the child the Wi-Fi password, and then they instantly have free reign to the internet. Think about it, like you could literally do anything with the internet. You could look up whatever you feel like, right? Okay, so I don't know if I ever told this story on stream, but 2 weeks ago, our first week of summer camp, which was 3 weeks ago. I apologize, I got the date confused. I had to think about it. 3 weeks ago, it was on a Friday. We had boys, 3 boys within our church who had the Wi-Fi password, Google Chrome, and a tablet, who were on Pornhub looking at inappropriate videos. while at our summer camp program, right? In an age group where it is not appropriate at all. It is not appropriate legally by law to watch porn until you are 18. Of course, it's not going to stop you in particular, but by law, you're not supposed to watch porn until you are 18. It's the reason why. Sorry. It's the reason why most porn will open up with an intro that has the federal logo of, I want to say the FCC on it. I think it's the FCC. Might be the FCC. Not particularly sure. Broadcast Commission. Something like that. There is a government body out there that requires a warning on the screen that if you are under the age of 18, you must click out of the page immediately. And if you do not do so, you are understanding and you are accepting the fact that you have now entered a site that you are not legally able to be in. So, no, you're not allowed to watch porn younger than 18. It is why websites that are dedicated to porn, it is why porn that is professionally made has the warning at the beginning that if you are under the age of 18, you must click off of it because you are a minor and you are not allowed to watch porn as a minor. Here, we'll Google search it. Well, we'll see if we can get it right. We'll do research. How about that? Can you watch porn under the age of 18? Legal advice, avvo.com. I don't know what that is, but can you get in trouble if you're under 18 and watch pornography? Pamela Coslin, an entertainment lawyer of Los Angeles, California, posted, "No, you cannot get in trouble for watching porn unless the pornography involves underage minors." Yeah, so I was wrong, in fact. You can't get in trouble for underage. But, needless to say, despite the fact that I was wrong, and I admitted it, it is not okay for one person to watch porn and then develop a curiosity for... Okay. I read your comment, got sidetracked from my thoughts, so I'm gonna bring it back. It is not okay for one child in our program to develop a curiosity for the other human being, the other gender, the other genders, if you want to go throw that S on there. There's not just two genders, there could be more than that. But to be fair, if Lacey Green says that there's two damn genders, there's probably just two damn genders. We'll see. We'll see. Bring it back again. Got a little sidetracked. Got a little heated there. Sorry. That child who develops the curiosity then starts this slippery slope, almost is the best way to put it. They'll go out and they will they'll start talking about it. And after talking about it's not fulfilling enough. You see a man having sex with a woman, you want to try something like that. So you just kind of, you just kind of go out there and start touching women in inappropriate ways. You don't necessarily understand what consent is at a young age when you're a kid. Hell, I never did. I got a referral for it. I still have the referral to prove it. It's in storage right now. Start slapping people in the butts because, that's what you see them do in the videos. You hear them talk dirty to one another, so you start calling people, pardon my French, I understand, kid for the channel, but this is where we're going. You start calling people sluts, dirty little bitches, things like that, because that's how they dirty talk in porn. So, talking about it's not okay, because the problem is, it starts spreading like a disease, and we get to parents who are not ready to have that conversation with their kids. Their kids are coming home with questions that their parents cannot answer because they have not had sufficient time to find out how to answer that question. If out of the blue, your 7-year-old daughter comes home one day and asks you what a penis is and how it goes inside of her, we have problems. As a parent, I would not be prepared for that day. My 7-year-old daughter coming home and telling me that it doesn't. That is a problem, and we are giving kids the ability to figure things out that they don't need to figure out until a, a, just a later age is the best way to put it. There are legends and myths around the world that I personally loved learning about when I was a kid, right? I loved learning about Sasquatch, the Chupacabra. I can never say Chupacabra right the first time. Sorry to all my South American brothers and sisters, I apologize. The Thunderbird, the Yeti, kind of the same thing as Sasquatch. The skunk ape, kind of the same thing as the Sasquatch. It just smells a lot worse. It lives in a freaking swamp. Skunk ape is native to Florida, by the way. Learning about these is inherently not scary to anyone, right? You just learn about them. I think certain cryptids out there are a little bit scarier to learn about. Learning about hell dogs is a little bit scarier than learning about Sasquatch. Sasquatch has never personally attacked or shown any type of fear and isn't tied to the devil in any form of way. But then you start learning about hell dogs, demon dogs, if you want to call them that, and then you start learning that, well, hell dogs are tied back to the devil and they're sent to Earth by the devil to like rampage and things like that. And that's why it can get a little bit scarier when you start getting deeper into the internet. And because children have great imaginations, right? They can either collaborate things that are bad or they can make stories worse than what they are. We'll take, for instance, right? We'll go with what happened today in class. We were learning about sharks today. So an interesting fact about sharks is that there are a lot more female sharks than there are male sharks. I didn't know that until today. I learned something new today. Well, of course, kids are kids, so the first thing they do is either agree or disagree with a fact. Right? This is a fact. Kids don't understand that it's a fact, which means you have to agree with it. It's not an opinion that you can agree or disagree with. This is a fact. This is something that you must agree with because it is true. I had half the class go, oh, well, yeah, that's true. And then the other half of the class go, well, that's not true. And then they came up with their own reasons as to why it was not true. And it was the reasons as to why, it was not true, is what scares me a little bit more about children learning about things that they don't need to be learning about just yet. Children are very creative, and they can be creative in fantastic ways, and they can be creative in unfantastic ways, right? They started making up stories as to why there were more female sharks than male sharks, and then the other side started making up stories as to why the male sharks are going to come back and exterminate all the female sharks, because kids are kids and their imagination is their number one tool and asset. So, if you give them something that is seemingly already disturbed, we'll take the Five Nights at Freddy's series, because we're coming back to Five Nights at Freddy's consistently. Personally, as a 20-year-old, I'm 20, I know, I look just the epitome of youth. Five Nights at Freddy's, at its core value, does not scare you. You took a Chuck E. Cheese, you threw in some animatronics, the animatronics are evil. Boom. Got yourself a jump scare horror game. It's perfect. It's all you needed for the setting. I doubt that our children are watching and understanding game theory. Game theory has some pretty scary ideas about the lore of the game itself, but I doubt that the children can watch and understand MatPat, so we'll give them a pass on that. If you take children and you expose them to Five Nights at Freddy's, on the outcome, what you have is a child who has a concept and is going to play off of that concept. They will make the concept worse, or they will make the concept better. To make the concept better is to basically tear it down and say that it's fake, it's a video game. I understand that this could not happen in real life. If it could happen in real life, there are some problems with physics. To make it worse is to say that it has happened in real life. We have had this happen on a couple different occasions. We have had a lot of kids. One in particular is the one who starts spreading it, and then he's got his little posse that goes around and spreads it a lot more. And you can think of that as like the Europe during the bubonic plague. They're the rats, and everyone else is just the pedestrians. All those rats are going around with their fleas. Their fleas are biting people, and their people are getting the plague, and they're dying because of that. So, to bring it all back, what these kids are doing is they took the recipe, they threw in all the ingredients, and then they thought, what if we experiment on it? What if we tell people this has actually happened? What if we tell them a little girl died at the Chuck E. Cheese, at the closest Chuck E. Cheese there is? A little girl died because Golden Fazbear, whatever his name is, ate them. Springtrap hit him, or the puppeteer grabbed him and dragged him to the back, and they never heard from him again, and things like that, right? And that story reaches back to the parents, and the parents have to comfort the child and explain to them that it's fake. And then that parent comes back and complains to us. That complaint goes to management. Management is a bunch of old people. They don't understand what Five Nights at Freddy's is. They could care less. They don't know what a game is. They could care less about what a game is. They go on YouTube and they look it up, and just looking at images of Five Nights at Freddy's is probably not the best, because that's not the most accurate representation of what exactly Five Nights at Freddy's is. You must also add that Five Nights at Freddy's does not have, and I can't say this alone just about Five Nights at Freddy's. I can say this about pretty much anything. Rule 34. We'll go with that, right? Rule 34 is a thing. So Google imaging Five Nights at Freddy's probably results in, I guarantee, at least one dirty image. We're gonna try it. We're gonna Google it right now. Five Nights at Freddy's. We're gonna see how far we can scroll down this list before something inappropriate pops up. Whether it be violence in the form of a corpse, or some form of nudity, because Rule 34 is the thing. Well, there's one. That's someone who's eating. Yeah. Oh, fantastic. Oral sex is the name of that one. Oh, I literally find it. SFM FNAF, sexiest and hottest Five Nights at Freddy's. This is a video on YouTube that shows two of the animatronics on top of the table. That is fantastic. I literally will count, because I can count to that one. Here we go. 1, 2, 3. The 91st result for Five Nights at Freddy's underneath Google Images is a thumbnail from a YouTube video of two animatronics in a very sexually suggested theme picture. Tell me that as a boss working at a summer camp, that if you were to Google image that and you were to see that, you would think that anything remotely dealing with Five Nights at Freddy's is an okay thing to talk about. Because I guarantee you're going to just instantly be like, nope, we can't talk about Five Nights at Freddy's, right? You could say that all you want. Can't talk about this. Can't talk about this. Can't talk about this. But I guarantee that it will still be something that they talk about. So, moral of the story, the internet is a powerful place that just needs a little bit of oversight and a lot of help to reel it in so our kids are not predisposed to something that they don't need to be predisposed to until they are of an appropriate age, that they can deal with it and understand the full consequences of what they are viewing. We'll take, for instance, LiveLeak. All right, so we'll go look up LiveLeak. Let's go to the front page of LiveLeak and see what's going on in the world of LiveLeak. If it will load, I literally haven't had any problems in LiveLeaks now. Forget Pornhub, forget Five Nights at Freddy's. Let's just say that someone figures out there's this website out there called LiveLeak where you can go and see people who magically decide that killing themselves is the best way to solve all their problems. You ever want to watch someone jump off buildings? You ever want to watch someone shoot themselves? You ever want to watch someone hang themselves? Ever feel like you want to watch someone burn themselves to death, drown themselves to death, freeze themselves to death? LiveLeak would be the place to do it. LiveLeak has all sorts of very graphic images in it. I know I have spent my fair share of time on LiveLeak. Now then, take a LiveLeak, hand it to your kids, and see what happens. Because I guarantee it's not going to be good. Your kids are going to see things that they are questioning, and they're not going to feel comfortable watching. Some kids may feel comfortable watching it. I felt pretty comfortable watching most LiveLeak videos. There were certain LiveLeak videos that I could never get around. Certain LiveLeak videos that usually revolve around the cartel chopping someone's head off, chopping someone's genitals off, feeding it to them while they're alive, and then proceeding to desecrate their bodies in all sorts of ways while they're alive, and then at the very end of it killing them for something that they did to the cartel. I don't particularly find those videos good to watch. They're not pleasing, they're not sensible, they're not nice. They're a very dark side of human nature, and LiveLeak for some reason is not loading. We'll try again. I'll exit out of this, go here, type in LiveLeak, hit enter, click on it. I just want to see what video is on the first page. Here we go. Let's see. Straight sex in the middle of the Roman Forum during Gay Pride. Featured items. Body cam video shows police stop man from jumping onto freeway. That's a good one. That's good. That's nice to see, but at the same time, still, you would need some adult guidance on what that is. Weird. Yeah, see, you don't. Streams can get weird, yes, but I am a very social person and I enjoy talking about things. And it's things that I am very good at developing and exploring in different ways. Those are things that I like to talk about. So, I know exactly who you're talking about. I remember you talking about this one. Toronto Red Ryder bandit points BB gun at mother and child. Video released showing prison escapee crash Ferrari. It's probably a funny one. It's probably not graphic in any way, shape, or form. Oops. It's lagging a little bit. Have a fun trip on the way down. Quote, I was planning to jump off a roof and thought it would be cool to video it. Unfortunately, my pant leg got caught in a plant holder by the gutter, which flipped me over and caused my scorpion fall. Okay, so this guy was not trying to kill himself. He was just trying to do a parkour trick and busted his ass. President of Costa Rica swallows wasp at press briefing. That sounds horrible. Climber falls to his death at waterfall. Motorcyclist crashed into a car. It's probably graphic. Thug shoot fireworks at homeless guy. That's just sad. Speeding biker killed after hitting turning car. See these, you can see a trend. Some of these videos are okay and nice, and then other parts of these videos are probably graphic. We'll watch the climber falls to his death at waterfall, and we'll see how graphic this is. It doesn't particularly bother me that I'm about to watch someone die. I've watched plenty of people die before. So, here we go. A climber from Tehran fell to his death as onlookers cheered on him at the Shahlabast waterfall in Mazandaran, Iran. If I don't see him actually fall in this video, well, at this point I'm going to be disappointed because they're hyping it. He did die, but you don't see his death. I'm talking about the death. I don't know if I sent you the video or not when I saw this video. This one was actually very recent. I laughed really hard watching this video, and I shouldn't have. But Fox sent me a video. Sorry, Fox, I'm calling you out on the stream. Where this guy was just sitting at a train station, and this train just came into the station, not particularly moving fast. 25, I think, is the train speed at this point in time, and it hit the guy. I should center my face. Fine. It hit the guy in a way, right? I think I'll do that. And if I stream like this again, I'll do that at a different time. When the train hit the guy, I expected it, right? The title was that the train killed the guy, but what I thought it was going to do is when it hit him, it was going to go over the top or under the train where the wheels were, and like destroy him, his body. What happened was the nose of the train pushed him to the side where the station was, and the gap between the station and the train is all of about that far. It's just all of a couple of inches. So his body was up against, here, we'll see if y'all can see this or not. His body was up against, pretend this is the station ledge. He was like this and squeezed between the train on this side of him and the station ledge, and his entire lower half of his body was pinched off of him. So because of that, he just kind of got stuck against the train and ended up cartwheeling down the entirety of basically until the train stopped. He just cartwheeled. His body was doing 360 Beyblades, basically. Fine, I will do it now because I feel like it. There you go. That should be better. And it was just kind of, you know, it's a lot to see. You literally, it was funny because he Beybladed. I saw a comment that described it like that, and that's basically like the perfect comment to post. But at the same time, it was obviously very sad because you had just watched someone die. I didn't send it. I probably didn't send it to you because I thought it was too graphic. And yeah, see, it was both sad but mesmerizing at the same time because he just cartwheeled and his arms had flown out like this, so it was both funny and very sad at the same time. I laughed at it, and the person who sent it to me laughed at it because she has a very dark sense of humor. I asked someone else if it was funny. I never showed them the video, and they said, no, you should never laugh at something like that, and that's probably why I didn't send it to you, Yana. So, yeah. But, to the discussion at hand, the internet has all of that attached to it. So just allowing that in the hands of our children is not easy to accept. You can't just hand a tablet to a child and expect that everything good is going to come after it, because they are probably going to abuse the power that you've given them. Whether they abuse it in a good way or if they abuse it in a bad way, we don't particularly know. So we have to be careful with what we give our children. Our Wi-Fi password is something that we shouldn't give our children. Using YouTube Kids instead of normal YouTube when you just give your tablet to your kids, because you could find all sorts of wonderful things on YouTube. Here, we're gonna go look for porn. Let's 18 plus. We'll just type that. It's literally 18 plus, and we'll see if we can find. Oh, well, here, we'll just type in PORN after it and then see what comes up. Here we go. It's called Sex, Porn, Fuck, Sex, XXX 18 plus. Oh. I'm gonna mute this. Okay. How about not as vigilant, but I have more faith in being able to hand my child a tablet without having to worry about them stumbling upon. Wow, this is actually a lot more difficult than what I thought it was. Not really. I've already found some. I'm already watching it too. You see anything? No, not particularly. Search hot 18 plus. Here, we'll search hot 18 plus. Hot 18 plus. Oh! Well, that's a straight dick in the thumbnail. Oh, yep, there it is. Found it. Deji was the one that I was trying to find, but I straight up found porn. It's from mofos.com. Mofos is obviously a reputable porn dealer, but this is straight porn. This guy is straight up fucking this woman. Sorry, French, my bad. So yeah, fantastic. So, you know, gotta be careful, because even YouTube is not safe from all of these. I know who Deji was. I understood that. I heard the story break on Drama Alert, I believe, and he was the one that I was looking. That was why I searched 18 plus. That's who I got it from. So I just looked up the wrong 18 plus. I forgot to put hot at the beginning of it. I've already closed out of the tab, so don't ask me if I'm still watching it. I'm on Google Drive at this point. Yeah. See, autoplay is another issue because autoplay just takes you to the darkest areas of the website and you never come back from it after that. You gotta be very careful with when you leave autoplay on and when you turn it off. I'm trying to think of what else happened today that might be relevant to talking about. Can't really think of much. I was finally asked to do something today as a human being as opposed to just uh, something else, right? So at work, generally speaking, I'm not the go-to person to get things done, right? So I am 20. I have a valid Florida State driver's license, and moving a van is not a problem, right? So the other day, one of my bosses came in and was like, "Oh, hey, do you mind telling your coworker that once he is finished playing the game with his group, if he could go move the vans and get the air compressor and put air in the tires?" Well, first off, right, the coworker that's supposed to move the vans and put air in the tires is not exactly the best at doing stuff like that. So I was like, well, I'll just take it up and I'll do it now. I'm not particularly with the group right now. I can do it because my group doesn't need me and that coworker's group does. So if I go and do it now, it's a win-win situation. No one's losing anyone as a counselor of the group, and I know how to do it. So when I responded with, "Oh, I'll just go do it," she responded back with, "No, you can't move the van." And I was like, "What do you mean I can't move the van?" And she was like, "Well, so-and-so, another boss, would flip out if you ever moved the van." And I was like, "What are you talking about? I'm 20, I have a valid Florida's driver's license. I'm literally, kid you not, I'm sitting in the parking lot, I am backing out, I am driving it 10 yards that direction, which is 30 feet for those of you who don't know metric. I am making a right turn and driving another 3 feet, 1 yard, and I am parking it there so that I can put air in the tires. That is literally all I am doing. I'm not driving on a main road. I'm not driving with any kids. I am driving alone with a van that drives the same way that a large truck would. Well, she kept pressuring me and saying that no, I can't do it. And that upsets me, right? I am more than capable of doing things that most people can't do, right? I am, by birth, a jack of all trades. My family has just been jack of all trades for a while now. I can dabble with electricity and not kill myself. I can't do over the top things, but I can get the job done. I can work with wood and build things. Some of the furniture in my room is um, handmade by my dad. This bookcase, that TV stand, that bookcase is handmade by my dad. So I've dabbled with woodworking before as well. I can do plumbing in the form of cutting and gluing together is my main concern, but um, moving things around is a little bit more difficult. Sprinkler systems, I can do some of that too, and then basic installation of appliances, hanging furniture like shelving. The shelving in my room that I have my guns on was me. I can do assembling of furniture. I assembled the IKEA furniture. That's not exactly hard to do, but I did that myself. I am more than capable, so for someone to come ask me to be a middleman for a job that I can do and then deny me the right to do that job is slightly upsetting because I am more than capable of getting that job done and complete without bothering anyone else, and it would make more sense for me to do it in the first place. So it upset me just a little bit. Today, they finally asked me to do something that I felt comfortable doing, right? See you later, Nia. Thanks for coming out and watching. I came in today. On our back portable, there's a staircase, and the staircase has a railing for older people who are a lot taller, and then a railing for young people, since it's a portable that's for 4-year-olds. The railing for young people has this mounting bracket down at the end of it. We'll do it this way. This is literally the best way that I can do it. You have a mounting bracket down here at the end, or the bottom of this railing, that does this. You got your 4x4 post over here. You got your railing here. And this is at an angle, so it sticks out from your 4x4 post, and then this is angled so that the railing is going down with the staircase. The bottom bracket that the railing mounts to had literally snapped in half. This piece was still on the 4x4, and this piece was on the railing, which was just sitting on the ground. It was still connected up at the top, but it wasn't connected to the bottom. Someone had tried to duct tape this together when it was snapped in half. So it was basically like someone had taken it and tried to do this. Like tried to do this with Legos, and it doesn't work. So all they did was take a whole bunch of Scotch tape and then top Scotch tape it together. It did not work at all, is the point that I'm trying to make. So they finally asked me to come fix something without the supervision of someone else, which is good, because I am more than capable of walking out there and unscrewing the mounting bracket to take the railing off, because the whole point is that the railing was unsafe for children in case they had walked by and gotten snagged on the exposed bracket that was sheared off in half. A piece of metal sheared off in half. Sheared, by the way. Sheared implies that there is some form of sharp, jagged edge on that mounting bracket. Screws that were loose and just sticking out. The handle itself had broken. Someone had put too much weight on it, and there was a screw hanging out of it. And I had to go out there. There was no drill that I could use. The drill would have made it all of like a 5-minute job. So I had to use a screwdriver and apply a lot of force. I unscrewed both of the mounting brackets, took them off, placed the handrail underneath a set of stairs so that when it comes time to replace it, it's still there. And then I basically just took the rest of it off. And that is a step in the right direction for me to be able to actually do things that I can do without people telling other people to do it who have no business doing it, right? If the best way that I could correlate to this, to a story that makes sense, is that if I have a mechanical background in fixing cars, instead of knocking on my door and asking me to go get my brother, who has a background in the Dewey Decimal System and organizing books in a library, to fix your car, you should ask me. The person who is more experienced in the field that you need help in is the person that you should be asking for help, as opposed to finding someone else who is older and therefore more qualified. Because just because you are older does not mean that you are more qualified to do what you are being asked to do. Simple as that. So of course it upsets me a little bit when they ask other people to do things that I am more than capable of doing and that I am probably better at doing as well. There's this distinct thing where most people, when they're asked to do something, they half-ass it. For those of you who don't know what half-assing is, it means, hey, I need you to take the trash out. So what you do is you take the trash out, but instead of taking the trash bag out of the trash bin, you just throw all of it, including the trash bin, into the dumpster, and that's how you take the damn trash out. It's not acceptable. You go out there with the bag in hand, you take the bag out of the trash can, you throw that shit in the dumpster. Sorry, my French, my bad. Close the dumpster gates, take the trash can back inside, you put a new bag in it, you take that trash can and you put it inside the kitchen where it belongs. That's how this works. Day in, day out, some people throw that directly into the garbage can. It's not okay. It's not okay. So, it's about 12:15. A little tired. I'm going to play a little bit of some Roller Coaster Tycoon, I think is what I'm going to play. I updated the Walter P99 today, which is good. I got something done in terms of weapons today. Still got an absolute large amount to go. So we're going to remove the star of the Walter P99 Mark II because it has been done. We're going to move it into the folder where it belongs. And now we have, for handguns, the LCAR 9 from Black Ops 3 and the CLOP 2, and then we will be done. So I'm going to go ahead and end it here. Go play with some Roller Coaster Tycoon for a little bit, I think. Maybe not. We'll see. And then I'll come back later in another live stream, hopefully. Tomorrow-ish, maybe. I don't know. I don't know what's going to go on tomorrow or not. So, see you guys later. And during another time, thanks so much for coming out, watching, so on and so forth. You all know the drill by now. I'll see y'all later.